Hare Devavrata Prabhu? Is coming, yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Today we have a very special speaker for today. His Grace Devavrata Prabhu. His Grace Devavrata Prabhu was born in America, and he became very inspired by Krishna consciousness. And currently he is actually a devotee in LA temple, Los Angeles temple. He is a disciple of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, whom you all know as a propagator of very all over the world book distribution. LA and San Jose, they are in West Coast. So Prabhu is living in LA, and he travels all across America with his van, distributing books in American universities, all over colleges and universities. So when I first came across him, at that time I was doing once in a month, 1 hour program for American brahmacharis. Those are brahmacharis in America. I had about 10, 12 of them, and Devavrata Prabhu kindly agreed to be the host for that meeting. So he was in touch with many of them, and he would bring them all together in one platform on Zoom, and I would give a talk and then take question answers. That's the way I became close to him. We both understood. And then I found that he not only is a book distributor, but he has a great heart for youth preaching also. And he goes to not only universities and distributes Prabhupada's books, he takes the contacts and he cultivates the youths there, sits and talks to them. And in this way he was also connecting. So our vision and mission was the same. And that way we became very good friends with each other. Then I invited him. I told him that I started going to America from 2019. Every year, 2 times I would go for 45 days each time. So when I went to America, I went to LA and stayed also, and we had very good conversation there. And then we understood that there can be great mutual give and take between India and America. Therefore, I invited him to come to India to see our student centers and travel around. So he came to India. He went to GGD and he went to Varanasi, and he saw, and he very nicely connected with Achyuta Prabhu and his student centers in Varanasi. Plus, you all may be knowing that besides Haridwar and Rishikesh, many of the Westerners come to Varanasi also in big number. So there also he felt that he could connect with them and bring them to Krishna consciousness when they are searching after truth in India. Like you heard about Jacob. Jacob actually came in search of God to India. And then he has memorized so many chaupais of Tulsidas. You saw Jacob? The other day he spoke, isn't it? So similarly, many people come to India searching after absolute truth. Indians go to America for dollar notes, and Americans come to India for Krishna. Isn't it? So in this way, Devavrata Prabhu's connection with Pune increased. He came to know Andardeep Prabhu and Achyuta Prabhu. And eventually, I introduced him to His Grace Vikram Gauranga Prabhu. And Vikram Gauranga Prabhu, as I was telling yesterday, he is a YP. YP stands for YPEA. YP stands for Youth Preaching Expert Advisor for Connecticut and LA, both. Connecticut is touching Boston, close to Boston, and LA is on the West Coast. So Vikram Gauranga Prabhu is taking care. Vikram Gauranga Prabhu is a very meticulous person. Anything he does, very thoroughly he does. He has been, in fact, with whomever is connecting from here to West, they have a reading program regularly every week, coming together, caring for Krishna's devotees. He was reading. So he became very good friends with Devavrata Prabhu also, and they are in touch now. And in this way, Devavrata Prabhu knows many devotees. He knows Santati Prabhu and many other devotees here. And he has a natural attraction for studying, practicing, and preaching Krishna consciousness. And he is very, not only he is aware of the philosophy, he also goes to, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, I don't know, many of you may not be aware. Every year during Kartik month, 1 full month he spends in Vrindavan. Who? Vaisheshika Prabhu. And he has a reading program of Srimad Bhagavatam. They finished the last time I met them, 6th and 7th canto they finished. 2 cantos in 1 full month, daily reading for 5-6 hours every day during the Kartik month, very auspicious. So I also went and joined His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu's reading for a week in Vrindavan. I also joined, very nice program. So he also joins his reading during that month, and then other times he comes and spends time with youth preaching and everything. So his heart's mission is to see that in the West also he can do, and through his book distribution he can connect many people to Krishna consciousness. He has a deep love and respect for Srila Prabhupada and his ways of bringing people to Krishna consciousness. So today we will get to hear from him. He is a very sincere and serious practitioner, and he is one person in Saffron I found in the West who has been practicing for many years sincerely and continuously. Because for me, when I am going to America, I connect with Indian boys very easily, but among the Western people, we don't have a very clear-cut strategy on how to start and how to approach. So in that connection, he was very helpful. He can connect with people in no time. In a couple of minutes, he can become friends with anybody in the West. So we having Devavrata Prabhu with us is a great blessing for Pune. He connects very well with devotees here also. So now this time we invited him here during this time, and now it was very nice that he came, and also Bailey came also. Bailey is from Boston. You all heard about him. And Bailey found out Jacob in Vrindavan, isn't it? Yeah. And then he invited him, I'm going to Pune, you also come. So Bailey, Jacob, and also Danny. So they all spent time with Devavrata Prabhu also. So they have formed a good team now here. So they are a great inspiration for all of us. So actually, when I look at them, I remember in Prabhupada's early days when Western devotees took up Krishna consciousness seriously. Indians were very fascinated because Prabhupada said they are like white elephants, isn't it? So they come and dance like white elephants, and Indians will be inspired to take to Krishna consciousness far more seriously. So it's a great blessing upon Pune that we have connection with such wonderful devotees, and especially Devavrata Prabhu. Let us welcome him to Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Temple. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Grace Devavrata Prabhu ki.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Vadadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Vadadari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parirajagacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. So I feel very grateful to be sitting in the presence of so many representatives of Lord Chaitanya. And I feel particularly small sitting in front of devotees like Sundar Sham Prabhu, Radhe Sham Prabhu, Antardweep Prabhu, Revatipati Prabhu, and I sincerely seek their blessings to speak something which will invigorate us with the mood of the Guru Parampara to expand Krishna consciousness all around the world. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yaswanubhavam akilat shruti sadamekam. Adhyatmandipam atiti shatantamonindam. Samsarinam karunayaha puranagoyam. Tam vyasasunam upayami gurum muninam. Narayanam namaskritya Naranchaiva narotamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudiraye Nasupraya shurabhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Yasyam vaishyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. We are We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 9, text number 29. Lavasudulaba idam bahu sambhavante manusyamartadamanityamapi adiraha Turnam yatet nanapatet anumnityayavan Nishreya yasaya visai kalosarvatasya Labvasudur laba idam bahu sambhavante Manusyamartadamanityamapi hadiraha Turnam yatet nanapatet anumnityayavan Nishreyasaya visaya kalosarvatasya Lavasudurlaba idam bahu sambhavante Manusyamartadamanityamapi hadiraha Turnam yatet nanapatet anumnityayavan Nishreya yasaya visai kalotavatasya Manusyamartadamanityamapi hadiraha Namapatet nanapatet anumnityayavan Nishreyasaya visaya kalosarvatasyat Matajis? No? Lava having obtained. Sudurlabham, that which is very difficult to obtain. Idam, this. Bahu, many. Sambhava, births. Ante, after. Manusyam, human form of life. Artadam, which awards great value. Anityam, not eternal. Api, although. Iha, in this material world. Dhiraha, one who has sober intelligence. Turnam, immediately. Yetaha, should endeavor. Na, not. Patet, has fallen. Anumrityu, always subject to death. Yavat, as long as. Nishreyasaya, for ultimate liberation. Visaya, sense gratification. Kalu, always. Sarvataha, in all conditions. Syat, is possible. Translation and purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. After many births and deaths, after many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. Purport. Material life essentially means repeated birth and death. Even the lowest forms of life, such as reptiles, insects, pigs, and dogs, have able opportunity for sense gratification. Even ordinary houseflies have a busy sex life and thus multiply rapidly. Human life, however, enables one to understand the absolute truth and is therefore full of grave responsibility. Since the valuable human life is not eternal, we should do the needful to achieve the highest perfection, Krishna consciousness. Before death appears, we should seriously cultivate our real self-interests. One can experience Krishna consciousness in the association of the devotees of the Lord. Without their association, one is in danger of being attracted to the impersonal conception of life, which causes one to fall away from devotional service to the absolute truth. Being discouraged by one's failure to understand the absolute truth, one may return to the false platform of sense gratification. In conclusion, human life is meant for cultivating Krishna consciousness under the guidance of the experienced, self-realized devotees of the Lord. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Minitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Lagnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shri Varshabhavani Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanam Dayane Pravave Namaha Madhurya Ujvala Prema Daya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktita Shri Gora Karuna Shaktis Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Sadanta Dantvatharine Namom Gaurikashoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambode Padambo Jayate Namaha Namom Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gora Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravira Bhava Bhumistvam Nirdesa Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhoma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratwase Namaha Vansha Kalpa Tarumbischa Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Agishya Yasya Varane, Lakshmi Yasya Chavakshashi, Yasyaste Hridaye Samvitam Nrsimham Maham Bhaje, Durgame Patiminantasya, Sakalat Paragatir Mahor, Svakripa Yastidanena, Santa Sanpavalambanam. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was growing up in Bhakti Vivan in Kolkata, in the presence of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and his mother Bhagavati Devi, there was a verse which Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had placed on his wall, which Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati saw every day when he was growing up as a child. And he swore that he would give his entire life to preaching the import of that verse. And that's the verse which we are discussing today. Labvasya durlabha idam bahu sambhavante manusyam artadam anityam apiha dira turnam yatet anapatet nanamityava nisheshaya vishayakal sabatavatasyat. We can't imagine the good fortune we've attained coming into the human form of life. After so much suffering, after so much hankering, after so much disappointment, trying to satisfy the senses, we finally come to a stage of life where we can engage in a tattva brahma jignasyat. We can ask the question, who am I? Where am I going? And what is the ultimate purpose of my life? Most people in this world, they consider the ultimate purpose of their life simply the gratification of their material senses. Nunam pramata kurutevi karma, yat indriya prayataya apanoti, nasadu manye tata atmanoyam, ashanapi kleshasta asha deha. But Rishabdev explains, Lord Rishabdev explains, that to simply make the goal of your life the satisfaction of your mind and senses is completely foolish, because we can see that this body that we possess, composed of Panchamahabhut, and what to speak of the subtle body of the mind, intelligence, and false ego, is so full of disappointment. So Rishabdev says that to make sense gratification the goal of your life is completely foolish, because this body is the reservoir of so many kleshas. Adhyatmika klesha, adhibhautika klesha, adhidaivika klesha. So many sufferings we're undergoing at every single moment. Sometimes on traveling Sankirtan, we go for a swim in lakes. We drive a lot, we work very hard. So sometimes for a little bit of sense gratification, we go swimming in a lake. And I've seen that when we go to these lakes, there's people who appear to be businessmen trying to relax. And we just go in for a swim, we don't make so much noise. But the fact that there's anyone around him completely disturbs his mind. He's gone there to be peaceful. He's gone there to experience some serenity. But due to his activities, which he's engaging in, he's so deeply absorbed in the consciousness which he's subjected himself to according to those activities, he's completely miserable that he can't even tolerate people coming and swimming next to him. Completely disturbed. Parabhavasyavara bhota jato yavanna jignasyata atma tatvam yavat kriyastabari dhanmanovai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. That according to the activities that one's engaging in, without engaging in tattva jignasya, inquiry into the absolute truth, those fruitive activities, they color the consciousness in a particular way, karmatmakam. And that particular coloring of consciousness carries one from one body to the next. Shariram yad avapnoti yat shapi ukrama ishvara. Grihet vaitani samyanti vayor gandan ivashayat. The fragrance of the consciousness that one has at the time of death determines where they will go in a future birth. So if one spends their life functioning on the basis of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, the material nature performing her service will award you with a material body by which you can perpetuate those activities. So as long as our consciousness is covered by our karma, karmatmakam, then the result is karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. We will be bound to a material body. We will be bound by the modes of material nature. And we will be forced to engage further in the activities which we've made the choice to engage in previously. Purusha prakriti stohi bhongte prakritir jangunan kananam gura sango syat sarasad yodi janmasu. So we are all servants to our material attractions in this world. And this is simply leading to defeat and misery. Parabhavasyavara bodhajato. Due to our material ignorance, we are being subjected to miseries moment after moment after moment. And we're expecting the things which are supposed to bring us success. That if I can only have that degree, if I can only have that wife, if I can only have that car, if I can only go to America, then I'll be happy. Parabhavasyavara bodhajato. But because your consciousness is full of ignorance of your ultimate purpose in life, all of your endeavors will simply meet with defeat and misery. So the whole mood of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole purpose of Krishna in this material world, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuta nama dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. The whole purpose of Krishna's descent in this world, the whole purpose of the descent of the Srimad Bhagavatam in this world, it only functions for the purpose of anarthopasanam sakshat bhakti yogam mutoksaje. To eradicate this anartha of material ignorance. Unless we eradicate this material ignorance, any activity that we engage in will not bring us satisfaction. So what is the wealth that the Srimad Bhagavatam is trying to give us? Most people in India, they know about Srimad Bhagavatam. They read Srimad Bhagavatam. They're aware of the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam. They know about Varnashram Dharma. They know about Dhruva Maharaj. They know about Prahlad Maharaj. But have they actually captured the point of the Srimad Bhagavatam? It's very good if we can be dharmic. It's very good if we can aspire for higher moral principles. But the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Dharma svanastitam pumsam vikshvakshena katasuya naparayat yadiratim shrama evahi kevalam. If you don't catch the point of the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you don't catch the arthadam of the human form of life, although you may be engaging in pious activities like coming to the temple, taking prasadam, superficially showing respect to sadhus, shrama eva hi kevalam. That activity won't have any practical effect on your heart. So many people, they superficially appreciate the Srimad Bhagavatam, and they take up philanthropic activities, social welfare activities in order to help society on the basis of dharma, artha, kama, to try to help people. But if they don't catch the point of the Srimad Bhagavatam, if they don't catch the point of the previous acharyas, Yenera vindakshava muktimaninas tvayasha bhava avashura budaya. Aruna krinshena param param tata pashyanta do najata yusma angriya. Although they may go so up and be so respected in society, they have to come down from that position because they haven't caught the point. Shrama eva hi kevalam. So the wealth of the Srimad Bhagavatam can't be understood by any amount of mundane piety, any amount of sharp intellect, any amount of scholarship or official hearing, going to a Bhagavat Saptaha in the name of being a pious, dharmic person. The message of the Srimad Bhagavatam can only be captured by the grace of Krishna. Nayama pravacha yena labhyo na medya na bahu na shrutena. Yameva shavrini vinutena labhyas tasyaisya atma vernute tanuswam. The message of the Srimad Bhagavatam is only revealed to those who the Lord chooses to reveal the knowledge to. This is why in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right before Krishna speaks Srimad Bhagavatam to Lord Brahma, he speaks this verse, Jnanam paramaguyam me yadvigyana samanvitam sarhasyam taranangam cha grihana gaditam maya. That the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam is guyam. It's very confidential. So Krishna is telling Lord Brahma, please listen very carefully, because I'm going to reveal to you what the purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam is, and I'm going to give you the process by which that Srimad Bhagavatam can be revealed to you from within the heart. So confidential knowledge means that it's carefully guarded by those who have impure intentions. It's just like if you go to Fort Knox in America. I don't know what a big military fort is here in India, but in America we have a big fort in which contains very confidential documents that the American government keeps. And to get into there requires security access. And there's different levels of security access that one can receive. So in the same way, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of layers of security access. And that Srimad Bhagavatam will only be revealed to those who have cultivated the proper service attitude. Atashri Krishna namadi nabavet grayam indriye sevan mukhe jivadao swayameva spratyadao. That the process of understanding the Srimad Bhagavatam is a reciprocal one. Yeyatam mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As they surrender unto me, I reveal myself accordingly. So Krishna is non-different from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we want to access the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to engage in service which will capture the attention of the Lord and capture the attention of the previous acharyas. Shushu sho shudadanasya vyasadeva katavrichi syanmahat sevana vipra punya tirthani sevana. If one wants to enter into the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to be willing to have our behavior, our actions, our mind, our entire life shaped by the words of the previous acharyas, shaped by the desires of the previous acharyas, shaped by the prayers of the previous acharyas. Only then will the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam be revealed, because the person Bhagavatam and the book Bhagavatam are non-different. So there is a process which the previous acharyas have prescribed, and by accepting that process, one can access the depth of the Srimad Bhagavatam in the same way they have. Bejare munayotagre Bhagavatam and hoksajam satvam visheptam sumayam kalpante yenutaniha. That by following in the footsteps of those who have worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead and achieved the level of Vishuddha Sattvam, then one becomes eligible by accepting that process which they have given to attain the same results as those persons. So what is the process which has been given for the revelation of the Srimad Bhagavatam by our Guru, by our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before his disciples went to Europe, It was the first effort made by any acharya of India to send preachers of the Srimad Bhagavatam over the ocean. Because there's this idea in India that a sannyasi should never cross an ocean. The Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, understanding the heart of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, understanding the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami, did it. He sent his disciples to Europe. And he told those disciples, you preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu boldly, and you listen to what you speak. You listen to the words that you speak. We may be studying books, we may be chanting japa, we may be honoring prasadam, but we have to ask ourselves, is the message which we're hearing when we're chanting the holy names, when we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, when we're coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class, when we're hearing from great souls, is that message transforming our heart? Preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and listen to what you speak. Because when you become a representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will not be the operator of the instrument. You will simply be an instrument. So the words which you speak will be full of great revelation. So pay attention. So if we're really hearing the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that we should be undergoing a revolution of the heart. Dagbag visargo janatagcha viplavo yasmin prati shlokam abhajanapapi namanyanam tasya yashodhiganiyat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sarava. Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse in his preface to the Srimad Bhagavatam, in which he said that the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, even if imperfectly spoken, even if one isn't able to speak the local language perfectly, if one has a sincere desire to serve the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, then one's representation of that Srimad Bhagavatam will create a revolution within the hearts of an impious civilization. So we have to see, is the process of Krishna consciousness transforming our heart? And what is the nature of that transformation? The nature of that transformation is that I go from living in a world of janasya moho yamaham mameti, always concerned about I and mine. Am I comfortable? Am I happy? What about me? What about they? Always worried about myself and things in relationship to myself. The transformation is that one goes from being fixated on oneself to being fixated on Atmanam Akhilatmana. One becomes concerned about the interests of Krishna. And the interests of Krishna is that everyone in the world is given an opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. Prithiviti yachi yaganara sarvatra pachar hoibe mordanam. Yare deka tade kaha Krishna upadesh. Amar agnaya guru tana e desh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells the Kumarahata Brahmana, you become a guru and liberate the world. So the transformation of the Srimad Bhagavatam is we're not only interested in coming to the temple, seeing the deities, taking prasadam, and doing all the things that we like to do. But the transformation of the Srimad Bhagavatam is that within the heart of the person who's heard the Srimad Bhagavatam, the desire of the previous acharyas has awoken, and their consciousness is tapyanti lokatapena, sadavo prayasojanaha, paramaradanam tadi, purishashyakhyalatmanaha. That they're interested in not only engaging in simple worship by which they can live a comfortable life, they're interested in engaging in the highest worship. They're interested in accepting suffering on oneself in order to benefit others, because they've understood that the purpose of Krishna is ultimately my highest purpose. Most people think of the needs of themselves because the body belongs to them. They think of the needs of their family because the family's in relationship to them. But when one goes a little bit deeper, when one looks a little higher, one sees that this body is dear to me because I possess this body. But who do I belong to? I belong to Krishna. So the interest of Krishna is my self-interest. So even if I have to fall sick, even if I have to associate with those of low character, even if I have to die. If Krishna is pleased, that's my ultimate welfare. Tapyanti lokatapena saravo prayasojana paramaradhanam tadi purusha shakhilatmana. Lord Shiva says that the willingness to accept this voluntary suffering is the highest form of worshiping Krishna. And this is the sacrifice, this is the price that one has to pay if one wants to access the depth of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the example which has been given by our Srila Prabhupada. That Srila Prabhupada was willing, with no money, no resources, no connections, to get on a boat by himself and go to a place which is completely, diametrically opposite to the place he was living previously. Sitting in Radha Damodar, chanting as many rounds as he wanted, meditating on Srimad Bhagavatam. He left that circumstance to board a boat with no devotee association, suffer 2 heart attacks, and when he lands in New York, there's no one to receive him. He looks left, he looks right, he doesn't know where to go. All he has is the instruction of the spiritual master, that you are an intelligent boy, please preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the English language. That was the only thing Srila Prabhupada possessed. That was his only wealth going to America. No money, no place to stay, but a great desire that my spiritual master wants this. The previous acharyas want this. So if I have to die, if I only have to eat potatoes for the rest of my life, let it be so. But if Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is not pleased, if his desire is not fulfilled, then I don't have a reason to live in Vrindavan. So when he was sitting in Vrindavan, he was seeing the nature of the people there. That they're, simply sitting by themselves, running, hunting here and there, looking for some chapatis and dal. And his spiritual master said, these are all kanishtas. Srila Prabhupada sitting in Vrindavan says, now I understand the words of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That how can I be so ignorant to simply sit in a holy place and not consider the suffering of others. For my own upliftment, I neglect the suffering of others. Srila Prabhupada said these people don't understand the scriptures, but an Uttama Adhikari understands the whole world should be given an opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. So the sadhana that has been given by Srila Prabhupada and given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is that the devotees under their care become the living mridangas of the Guru Parampara. And the only sound which is resonating from their hearts is the humble appeal of Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. Dande nitaya trinakam parayorni patyat Kridvasa kaku satameta raham bravimi He sadava sakalameva vihaya durat Goranga chandra charane kurutanu ragam. My dear sir, you're very intelligent. You have so many qualifications, and you're probably the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my entire life. But I have one request. Please give up everything and forget about your position and simply Goranga Chandra Charane Kurutanu Ragam, worship the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. Devotees, please understand that the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is not another religious institution. It's not a Hindu organization which is meant to do nice philanthropic and social welfare activities to society. Please try to understand within the depths of your heart that we are living in the midst of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan activities. Adyapi kari lila kari goraroy, kono kono bhagyavane deki paraboy. But only those who are fortunate are able to perceive how these pastimes are taking place. Anyone who wants to fully access the mercy which is being given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this time, in this place, should seriously take in consideration the request of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bharata bhumi haila manasya janmayar janma sartha kari kari kara para upakar. That those who have taken birth in the land of Bharat should perfect their life, and after having perfected their life, they should go out and give everyone in the entire world the opportunity to become Krishna conscious. All of us are sitting here because of the sacrifice of one Indian. Of one Indian who understood the need of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message in the world and took seriously the instruction of his spiritual master. And that one Indian has brought millions of people to Krishna consciousness. We can only imagine what would take place if we are sending armies overseas. Just like during wartime, a country doesn't send one soldier overseas. They send an army. And this gives great strength to the cause of that country. So we should consider that we are all soldiers in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan army. Our base is Sri Dham Mayapur, and we are interested in sending armies and armies and armies of young men across the sea to preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and listen to what they say. Srila Prabhupada's disciples came to America. Srila Prabhupada's disciples from America came to India, and they gifted India with the gift of Krishna consciousness. They built up the foundation which Srila Prabhupada had laid, and they've built a beautiful mansion, and now we're sitting inside that mansion. We're sitting inside the mansion of Srila Prabhupada. And anywhere you go in India, you see beautiful temples. You see hundreds of devotees. You see happy devotees. You see more devotees coming. And this gives great inspiration to the heart. This is why I come to India. It's to become inspired by all of you. It's to learn from all of you, to take shelter of all of you, to gain strength, to continue on with my service to Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara. But my dear friends, now is the time for the youth of India to have a revolution, where their glance upon America, when they look upon America, they don't think Apple, Microsoft, they don't think six-figure bank account, Tesla car, beautiful house. But they look upon the United States of America with the instruction of Srila Rupa Goswami on their head. Anashakta savishayan yarartam upayunjataha nirbandha krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchate. Without having any attachment in one's mind, we should become qualified to look upon America, which is a land of material enjoyment, with an eye of service, with an eye of how can I engage all the facilities which North America provides, all the opulence which North America provides to glorify Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra. Without desiring anything for one's enjoyment, one should become sincere to want to accept the instruction of Srila Rupa Goswami, to be uncompromising in one's renunciation. We are not interested in agitating aggression within the hearts of the people of North America, nor are we interested in flattering their sentiments. Our only interest is to uphold the principles given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by being living examples of Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Our only interest is to impose upon North America the desire for Kirtaniya Sadahari, the continuous chanting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name. This is our only desire. Whether we become infamous, whether we become famous, if we can impress upon the heart of one sincere soul the principles of Chaito Darpana Marjanam, we can consider ourselves a success. And as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, don't try to see Krishna. Serve the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in such a way that Krishna will want to see you. So when there is a stronger necessity, there is a greater appreciation. And I can tell you all that there is a strong necessity in America for a sincere cloud of itinerant preachers preaching in every town and village of the American countries, giving Krishna consciousness to others. And if there is a higher necessity, there is a greater appreciation. So if one takes on their head this request of Srila Prabhupada, this request of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, this request of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and this request of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread Krishna consciousness in every town and village, then you will receive the glance of Krishna. So let's all aspire to come to this stage of being qualified to sacrifice ourselves in the fire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, and under the guidance and protection of our Guru Parampara, let us unite to inundate North America with the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Hare Krishna. I have a presentation for Los Angeles, but I need... Should we do questions? Yeah.
Anybody want to ask question? One question? Till...
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Actually, I'm unable to actually understand it. Like, it is told that in Krishna consciousness, everything is like a process which can elevate one's consciousness. So, like taking prasad, dancing, kirtan. So, suppose someone is not very literate, like he cannot understand or read, like he cannot like read and study like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So like you have told one point like that if one not catch the point of Bhagavatam, then like his all activities are like make him biased like that, and once he will fall down. So actually I am unable to get what is the technicalities in this, that suppose someone is illiterate but taking prasad, dancing in kirtan, but unable to understand the Bhagavatam. So can he not elevate to Krishna consciousness? Like
Srila Prabhupada said that when he heard his spiritual master speak, he couldn't understand what he was saying. He couldn't understand the depth of what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was saying. But he said, let me try to hear. So like I said, it's not based on material qualification. It's not based on whether you're literate or illiterate, handsome, ugly. All these things are superficial considerations in devotional service. The point that I'm making is that the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is like an iceberg. And the top is very beautiful. There's many wonderful things present there. But if one goes deep, one can find the magnificence of what Srila Prabhupada has come to give us. And during Srila Prabhupada's time, there was no question of just coming to the temple, seeing the deity, taking prasadam, and then going home. There was no question of that. Everyone felt that they have to do something for Srila Prabhupada. They have to do something for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even if that means you're just tying book packs, but you're doing it with that missionary spirit, the point is that we have to go beyond just only being able to see the Lord in the temple, but we have to see the desires of His devotees. Ishvare tadadineshu baliseshu dvisachhusa prema maitri kripopeksha yat karoti samadhyamaha. Surely Krishna consciousness is all purifying, but there's a depth to it, and there's a depth to realization. So let us continue to chant, let us continue to take prasadam, but let us also consider the point of why we're doing these things. It's not simply just to have friends. It's not simply just meant to be a social club or a place to fill our stomach. It's actually meant to be a place where we become aware of the desires of Krishna and we genuinely want to please Krishna. Anabhilasita sunyam jnana karma anavatam anu kalena krishnanu shilanam bhakti rutamam. Where we practice pure devotional service, no material desires, no cover of karma, jnana, but anyabhilasita sunyam jnana karma anavatam anu kalena krishnanu shilanam bhakti rutamam. Shilanam means a type of cultivation. And that cultivation should be done under the guidance of a spiritual master. Yasyat prasadad bhagavat prasado. So if we really want to be pleasing the spiritual master, we have to tune into what their heart is. If we can't capture the heart of Srila Prabhupada, if we can't capture his inner intention, his deepest desire, which is the pleasure of his spiritual master, then we may be associating with ISKCON superficially, but we may not catch the great mercy which is being provided. We may not access the great gift of Krishna Prema which is being given by Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because that gift of Krishna Prema can only come with a proper service attitude. And that service attitude has to expand just beyond our own personal want to be happy. But we should be willing to accept unhappiness for the happiness of others. And that's a higher stage of consciousness. Does that answer your question? Okay. Yes,
Hare Krishna Guruji. Like the way you said, like one should have a sincere desire to serve. But nowadays, the kind of environment we all are living in, has a lot of distraction. So it is really difficult to develop not just a desire, but a sincere desire. If you can guide us through it.
Just get this set up. I just want it to be in the place. It's explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Savaipum sam paro dharmo, yator bhaktir hoksije, ahoit takiya pratiyata, yatmam supersediti. Radhesham Prabhu in the Nishta class last night nicely explained that these ISKCON temples are an embassy. And the laws of the material world, they don't apply here. As soon as someone enters the Gopuram, coming in, the Yamadutas can't catch them anymore. So that's why sadhu sangha sarva shastri koi, lava mantra sadhu sanghe, sarva siddhi hoy. We may be living in distraction. We may be living in a place of utter discomfort. But if we're in the association of devotees and we can catch the essence of how powerful a service attitude actually is, And despite those distractions, we can go on serving. Devotional service is uninterrupted and unimpeded. There's nothing which can stop it. No material circumstance in the world can obstruct the service attitude of a devotee. So it's just a matter of willing to give ourselves more fully to the process, give ourselves more fully to the desires of our superiors. If we give ourselves to the desires of our superiors, then their good wishes and their blessings can eradicate any distraction from our heart. But we have to ask ourselves, how much am I willing giving myself to this process? Srila Prabhupada explained that Krishna consciousness is an individual process. It doesn't matter whether your mother, it's not that you can say, I'll wait for my mother to be Krishna conscious, I'll wait for my father to be Krishna conscious, wait for my neighbor to be Krishna conscious. It's up to you. Krishna says, Sarva dharmam parikyaja, mamekam saranam vraja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha yasyami masachaha. It's your choice, whether you accept it or not. It's not a matter of previous piety. I'm coming from the most impious background, but I'm trying to accept Srila Prabhupada's mission. And I've seen that distractions, limitations, those things can be eradicated very easily by Krishna's grace. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate. But we have to ask ourselves, how deep is our desire to be Krishna conscious? And if that desire isn't there, then we should go deeper into sadhu sangha. We should go deeper into our japa. We should go deeper into our study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we should cry to the previous acharyas, please make me sincere. And they can make us sincere. Acharya upasanam, that by pleasing the previous acharyas, one can make very rapid advancement. So the more we tune into the heart of Srila Prabhupada, the more we tune into the heart of our spiritual master, the heart of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the more all these distractions can be removed. And the only thing that we'll see is ourselves, Srila Prabhupada, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and service to the Vaishnavas. That will be our only fixation. I mean, no question of other desires. Is that okay? Prabhu, should I start the presentation? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So on the request of Radhe Shyam Prabhu, I've been asked to present some of our preaching activities in Los Angeles. So this is Bhaktivedanta Youth Services, Los Angeles. And myself and a devotee named Suvarna Bindu, back in June, we put together our mission statement for Bhaktivedanta Youth Services. So following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas, we seek to eradicate the ungodly effects of spiritual apathy by educating a thoughtful class of youth in the principles of selfless attitudes, values, and taste for pure devotional service, while empowering them to take responsibility for the Sankirtan movement in an intelligent and organized way. This is our team. So if you see, how do I do this? Let's see, this is Bhakta Danny. You all know Danny. He's here. Yeah. This is Brian. You'll get to know more about Brian in a little bit. This is Jagat Trata, formerly Bhakta Jimmy. All the Pune brahmacharis will recognize Jagat Trata. He came and stayed here last year. And this is Bhakta Avatar. Now he's in LA, yeah. And this is Shir Chora Gopinath. He was previously Bhakta Kir. He recently got initiated. So, as Radhe Shyam Prabhu mentioned, my main service for the past 7 years has been traveling Sankirtan. So this is our traveling Sankirtan van. So our schedule on traveling Sankirtan is we wake up at 4, channel our rounds, have an abbreviated morning program, take a light breakfast prasadam, go out at 9 and distribute books until 3. And then at 3 we come back, do a few errands for the van, count Lakshmi, report scores, and then cook prasad and then read. We do that every day for about 75-day stretches. We do 75-day tours. And we have different devotees coming and joining us. I've never actually had a consistent traveling Sankirtan partner. They come and they go. Generally, it's always a rotation. So back in March, my Guru Maharaj, he in Mayapur on Nityananda Trayodasi, he announced the desire to want to expand the mass distribution of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So while we were there, on behalf of our traveling Sankirtan party, Nitai Jiva Doya Sankirtan, I made a vow to distribute 100 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets in 2 months. And I'm happy to say that we met that goal. So this is in Holi. It was 0 degrees centigrade that day, if you can't tell by the look on our faces. It was extremely cold, but we distributed 10 sets. It's Holi in Spanish Fork, Utah. This is a lady who's from China who said she became aware of Krishna by watching Indian television. And she took a Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right behind her is a hill that has a very steep incline. So when she was walking away with this Chaitanya Charitamrita, because of the weight of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, she couldn't walk a straight line. She was going zigzagging down. So this is Mario right here. He is a gardener at University of Washington in Seattle. So he came up to me and he said, I like this, I'll be right back. And I said, yeah, come back in about a half hour. My traveling partner speaks perfect Spanish and he can speak with you. So they spoke for about 15 minutes and Mario explained how he has a group of people that they read different spiritual books on a weekly basis. And he bought a Chaitanya Charitamrita and many, many other books in Spanish. And this is Ganganath Prabhu, my traveling Sankirtan partner. So this is Mario, a simple gardener in Seattle. And this is Bhaktin Katie. She came up to our table. We didn't know who she was when she came up. But she goes in Boise, Idaho, to something called Krishna Lounge. So in Krishna Lounge, they come and they do kirtan, they have a philosophy talk, and they serve prasadam. So she was going there. And when she came up, I sold her a Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then she started to express how, you know, most of my friends, they're like going and getting internships this summer, but I thought it'd be really nice if I could move into an ashram. So then I told her, oh, you should go to Krishna House in Gainesville. So I spoke with their temple president, Mother Anadhi Radha, and she knew who she was, so they started speaking to each other. And Bhakti and Katie went to Krishna House this last summer in Gainesville, spent the summer there. She came back a 16-round devotee. And now she's assisting in the preaching in Boise, Idaho. So this Bhadra Purnima, we had a vow in our ashram to do, I think, 130 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. I think we were only able to do about 100. The time was shorter and it's a bit harder to get Bhagavatam sets out. But this is our activities. This is Bhakta Danny distributing Srimad Bhagavatam in Colorado. This was right on Watsika Avenue where our temple is. Bhakta Avatar ran into a person just on the street and started speaking to him. And he said, I think you'd like this book. Why don't you buy it? And he said, oh, sure. Why not? He bought a Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Jagat Trata. This is Brigupati Prabhu. Brigupati Prabhu is 72 years old. And Srila Prabhupada in 1973 was giving a lecture in New York, and he was looking for questions, and no one was asking a question. So Brigupati Prabhu was feeling agitated that someone should ask Srila Prabhupada something. So then he shot up his hand, he said, Srila Prabhupada, can you please say something about the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And then Shrutikirti Prabhu kind of whispered something into Prabhupada's ear, and Prabhupada sat up and he said, yes, it has already been said, Parambi Jayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. So you continue doing Sankirtan and your life will be a success. So then a devotee walked up to Brigupati Prabhu at that time, who was Bhakta Jeff, and he said, well, Bhakta Jeff, it looks like you have an instruction from Srila Prabhupada to do Sankirtan for the rest of your life. And so Srila Prabhupada and Brigupati Prabhu has never stopped distributing books. He's 72 years old. He goes out for about 7 or 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And he's one of the biggest Sankirtan devotees in the entire world. So this is him distributing a Srimad Bhagavatam to Michael. This is Jaden at the Rath Yatra festival. Oh. And this was someone I met in Colorado. So Sankirtan comes with its challenges sometimes. So Danny and I recently, we were driving to Colorado and our tire blew out on the highway. So it blew out around 5 and the tow truck didn't come until way, way later. So this is about at 1 o'clock in the morning, roughly. And this man, they had a 24-hour mechanic, so he replaced our tire. And there was a Punjabi man there, and I was trying to show him the Bhagavatam, but he was not interested at all. And then this guy right here, whose name happens to be Danny, he said, "So what are you guys anyways?" And he said, "Oh, we're monks." And so I said, "We have this nice collection of books, and if you can give a donation, we'd be happy for you to take it." He said, "Why not?" So he took a full set of Srimad Bhagavatam at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then he put it in the bed of his truck with the American flag on it. Yeah, so this is our college preaching. So under the inspiration of Radhesham Prabhu, we've started executing college preaching. For many years I was doing traveling Sankirtan, but I had some deep satisfaction in my heart to want to create more than just books going out. I wanted to create a culture of devotees. So by Krishna's mercy, I've been able to get in the association of Radhesham Prabhu, who has given me a wealth of guidance in developing college preaching. So to explain the beginning of our college preaching, I'm going to do it through the medium of a story. So this is Bhakta Brian, as I showed you earlier. He had gotten a Bhagavad Gita from our traveling Sankirtan party back in 2021, around November, so about 2 years ago now. And the person on my party, he gave me his contact because he had reached out to him. So the next time I went back to his school, I sold him a full set of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. And then shortly after that, we started reading Srimad Bhagavatam together. And then there's at one point where Srila Prabhupada talks about the slaughterhouse of public education. And so Bhakta Brian said, "What can we do for these people?" And I said, "Well, when I was in college, I used to invite people over to my house, cook for them, do kirtan and speak. So why don't you do the same thing, and you won't be by yourself, we'll help you." So then what happened was about a week later, Brian said, "I really like your idea," and I made this poster for starting a program in April. So then he became so enthusiastic, and he just made this poster on the spot. This is like, when a child gives a drawing to their parent, and that cherishes, that's really touching to the heart of the parent. That's what this is like for me. Is that, this person that I'm just now getting to meet, he's so inspired to spread Krishna consciousness that he put together this poster on his own. So this is our first wisdom talks. This is what we call our program. This is in Brian's living room. So we're still conducting everything out of Brian's house. So this is Brian during that first semester of preaching. He's out distributing books. He's out doing Harinam, and my favorite part of this picture is it says, "Out of the darkness." This is Wisdom Talks. This is how we've improved our poster. So Brian is an amazing cook. This picture here of the prasadam, this is a plate that he actually cooked himself. Any recipe that you give him, he can look at it and put it together, and it tastes amazing. I mean, he's a really, really amazing cook. And he's learned practically all on his own. He's very talented. This is Wisdom Talks now. So we've increased from just having 12 people to about 20 people weekly. And we do Harinam weekly on the campus. We distribute books. And next year we have some students who want to rent a place with Brian and continue the program even more and make it bigger so we can have more programs. And we also distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets there. So this is Bhakta Bennett. He bought a Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam set. This is a group of friends. They all liked what Jagat Chatta was saying about Krishna consciousness. So they bought a Srimad Bhagavatam set together and said, "We'll just buy this one and we'll share it amongst each other." So they all read Bhagavatam together. So this is Bhakta Brian now. He's distributing books on college campuses. And during Bhadra Purnima, Bhakta Brian, being so enthusiastic, he sold a set of Srimad Bhagavatams to his parents. We actually told him to give it to them for free, but he said, no, they should pay. So not only did they buy a set, but they also sponsored a set. And I think just last night they did a home program at Brian's house. So Brian's father is a subscriber to Back to Godhead magazine, and he reads it from cover to cover. So this is... This is... Yeah.
I think some of you may not know, Danny is number 1 in the world in karate.
This is him now. Recently we had initiations, Jagat Trata, Shirajor Gopinath, and Aishwarya Keshava. They all got initiated by my spiritual master as graced by Sheshika Prabhu. We did our first camp this past fall, and we had 2 boys participate. Riley, who's quite the personality. He owns a sailboat, and he wants to sail around the entire world. So I told him at the camp that, before you navigate the oceans of the world, you need to learn to navigate the ocean of your heart. So you need to take the Srimad Bhagavatam and read it when you're traveling the world. He said, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So he took the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is Pritham. He was a transfer student from University of Minnesota. Very, very nice boy, and I think he comes from a Sri Vaishnava background. After we explained the misconceptions of Shankaracharya to him, he goes, yeah, you're right. He doesn't know what he's speaking about, actually. And this is our summer training camp. So we had, this is Brian, Danny, Shirachor Gopinath, and this is Jagat Chata, and this is Bhakta Dalton, who participated for a little bit of it. And this is us doing japa in a park together. So this is my humble request to all of you. Maritu bhumite hoila manusyu janma yar, janma sartakari kara, para upakar. So under the guidance of Radhesham Prabhu and the desires of our previous acharyas, we're making an attempt to inundate North America with the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many devotees like Achyuti Mohan Prabhu, Vikram Garanga, Antardweep Prabhu, and many, many devotees are all working together to expand the Krishna consciousness movement there. So I'm from America, they're from India, but our purpose is the same, and we're experiencing some wonderful success by cooperating together to fulfill the desires of the previous acharyas. So the practical effect of spreading Krishna consciousness movement all over the world is that now the most degraded debauchees are becoming the most elevated saints. This is only one Indian's humble service to the world. If all Indians had taken to this path as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, India would have given a unique to the world, and thus India would have been glorified. So in the words of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you're all young, intelligent men. Why don't you preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the English language? Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, Devavrata Prabhu. It was such an enlivening and inspiring session. Everybody was at the edge of their seats to hear from Devavrata Prabhu. You all may be amazed how he memorized so many shlokas, isn't it? So you generally think that it's difficult to memorize, and Prabhu studies Shastras for many hours and very deeply. But every day he goes out on Sankirtan 6 hours, can you imagine? Generally we think if I go for book distribution so many hours, then how will I get time to study? He's able to do both because he has cancelled the third one, which is called sense gratification. So he has ample of time for these two. Janma sarthaka kori. So he is here with us 1 or 2 more days. You can take advantage of his personal association, meeting him, asking him more questions personally. So we'd like to thank him with 3 Haribo! Devavrata Prabhu ki, Prabhupada ki.